Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today's video we are making amazing digital circus CAINE in Forsaken killer concept skin whatever. In today's video I'm going to explain how I made the intro and the outro, the concept itself and all that good stuff in between. Of course, if you enjoy the video, please like, share, and subscribe. We are so close to 70,000 subscribers. That'd be amazing if we can do that. Anyways, sit back and get some snacks and relax and enjoy the video.
Whoa! Clean up on aisle U!
I'm on it, boss! Ow. Ow.
Why are you like this?
In the back here, I am going ahead and getting like CAINE's textures into Roblox and then putting that Roblox character into Blender. It's pretty darn straightforward. Just bring in a character, hit export, go, export to OBJ, and all is good. But as you can see here, I'm just putting the character in. I was trying to figure out this new like thingy bobby whatever. It's this weird animation thing, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't figure out how it works, and I couldn't find my original rig that I use for all my videos, so I just had to go and download one of my rigs that I've saved for a while. So went and downloaded that, plopped it back in, worked beautifully. I don't know why I'm trying to use this new plugin, to be honest. Then I'm slapping on the textures right on him, making sure everything looks good. And now what I'm doing is I'm looking back at my assets that I've collected and created throughout the years, and I'm doing something that's called the kit bashing. Kit bashing pretty much is you put things together, you slap them all together, the things that you've already created, and using different assets, different accessories, whatever, and then putting them all together to make one new asset from the original asset that you have. So it's just a really good way to be very efficient and, you know, to not take as much time on a lot of these like very tedious stuff. Especially here, I was struggling with the teeth a lot. I don't know why, but I really hated the way that the teeth were created here.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful in every way. If I could kill it, I would. But I legally can't. But I've considered it. But
there's some solid teeth, so I really tried to make sure that they looked pretty and I could kind of edit them back and forth. But in the end, I definitely did get what I wanted them to look like. Even though I experienced a lot of errors, I was able to fix them up a decent amount. This is also me realizing that I lost the files to Killer Chance, and I'm kind of depressed about that. I don't know what the heck happened to it. I apparently it just did not save or completely deleted itself, so that's sad. I wish I could find it. I don't know where it could be, but I wish it was there. The hat was like really straightforward to make, so really did not take but like maybe 20 to 30 minutes. Like it was a breeze compared to everything else. So nothing to really talk about here, to be honest. Just a simple cap doing simple stuff. Real simple. All that simple stuff. How many times can I say simple? Simply simple. Simple. It's really simple. It's honestly pretty simple. Now, I wanted to get some reference because reference is key especially when you're trying to animate something that already exists. It's very important. I wanted the intro to be like when he's crashing out and after.
Roblox, yes. They only think about old Roblox. They're retro swap. They won't quit Roblox. They won't stop paying for Robux. I won't let them.
Where he like floats up and he's just like, time to get the show ready or something. I don't remember. But I wanted that to be part of the intro, and then the outro is going to be something a little bit different. You'll see that later. But I did find something. It's pretty peak, to be honest.
I almost forgot. To make the mental breakdown here, we get to say the magic words. Say it with me. Miska, Moose, Mickey.
Very dumb. I know. I just thought it was dumb. It was funny. It was Cane's crash out, but if it was Disney, it's just very random. But anyways, in the back here, you can actually see me starting to texture Caine. I wanted to make sure that it's as close to the references as it can be, with like colors being correct and stuff like that. I don't know if I did it perfectly, especially because they're using very different materials on Caine than I'm using. So, you know, it's a figure out type of situation. Let's just see how I feel. It's you know, that looks right, probably. And of course, because this is a Noli skin, I had to cut him in half in some type of way, and I thought it would be really cool if he was half, you know, that glitched effect that you see in the show, and half normal. Of course, I was thinking abstracted too, but I decided not to, just because why would he be abstracted? He's an AI, so it doesn't really make sense. But I thought glitching out was definitely better.
I'm a New Zealand extremist, and I don't know what New Zealanders threaten people with.
Now, onto one of my favorite parts of the entire, like, build or creation that I'm doing here. It's the animation, dude. Animation is awesome, it's fun, it's definitely challenging, but this one was definitely very, very fun. I just made sure to match it as closely as I can to the original one, and made sure that everything, you know, felt bouncy and cartoonish, just like the actual Caine and an animation that would come from Glitch. Of course, I'm not Glitch. Please hire me, Glitch, please. God dang. But, you know, I'm definitely getting better at the animation part. Hopefully. Hopefully you can see the improvement here. Especially later with the mouse animations. I think I did really good there. Now, it's time for polishing. Polishing is extremely tedious, but it is adding in-betweens, it's making sure everything looks pretty. You know, I make sure that all of the base animation that I put down, I spent, you know, hours working on, actually flows into each other. And not just like randomly moving and doesn't really make sense for the body to be doing that, right? So I made sure to add all the little details, every bit of it, all the mouse movements, all the little R movements that you can see throughout the animation, even some of the effects that of his eyes moving at the end, all that good stuff, man. It was definitely hard to do everything and very extremely tedious to do the mouth animations. That's what really took the longest. Again, you know, I challenge any of you guys. If you guys want to try out mouse animations, go try it out, because it is rough. It is rough, it is hard, but you should definitely do it, because that's what a lot of animation companies look for, is like good mouse expressions and body language and stuff like that. So it's important if you want to be an animator, but if you don't want to be, just watch and have fun, I guess. That's what you can just do that. That's fine. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed making the mouse animation nonetheless. It was fun. It was enjoyable. Everything all the good around, but just extremely tedious. That's the only issue.
Did you remember to get my comedy mask?
Now on to the special effects. You know, the lighting, all that good stuff. Just everything that makes this all wrap up into a nice little bow. I really enjoy it. I think this is great. This is probably like the easiest part, where you're just making sure everything looks pretty. You know, make sure that the skylight looks nice. Make sure that, you know, his eyes flickering, it looks cool. Everything like that. I think probably one of the more fun parts that I've had was making the lightning effects. Literally, I'm gonna tell you a secret. They're just 2D images. They're literally just 2D images that I brighten up. That's literally it. But yeah, it was good. It was good. Just simple stuff. I was struggling on like the backlight where like the circle is, where he's like shaking at the camera violently. I just couldn't find the one setting that said, make this circle into a circle. And I was like, oh my god, I'm going to blow up, and I'm going to cause maybe World War III if this is not going to work. Oh my lord, it was rough. It was rough. But effects are pretty straightforward, nonetheless, besides circles apparently. But yeah, it was really fun just to make everything all nice and good. I did try to make sure that the lightnings were actually like 3D, but I really couldn't do that, so I resorted to, of course, 2D, which is fine. Works just the same, yeah, as long as you make it look good. Okay, time to show the intro. Hope you enjoy.
Let's get this show on the road!
Okay, now on to the outro. Here, I actually had to download an entire map just so that I can actually, you know, get the scene looking correctly and everything like that. So, in the back here, you can see me trying to get the intro scene ready to be transferred into the outro scene, which takes a little bit of time, but it's fine. It was a little bit tedious though, just trying to get all the textures correct and everything like that. When I downloaded the map at first, it didn't have any of the textures really, so I had to re-download it and just import it in differently so that the textures actually work. So, and luckily they did the second time. Now I'm just trying to figure out and trying to match up the animation. You know, I'm running the show because I wanted the outro to be where he's like sliding and then it blows up in the background. All this cool stuff, just because it made more sense for him to be doing that. So I'm trying to actually figure out where that scene is, and I did find it. There's a couple times where I just genuinely thought, man, I am not gonna find this. Either it just doesn't exist, and they made an entire new background. Nope, they just used the normal map, so that's good. I'm happy about that. Luckily, I did find it pretty quickly. I did struggle a lot, though. In the original animation, you can actually see that CAINE, has a pile of like Pomni, of Kinger, of Jax, and Zubul, and all that stuff like that. All like, because he just like tortured them pretty much in the song. But they have like a pile of them all just stacked, and he jumps on them and, blows it up later. So what I wanted to do was make the pile of Forsaken characters. Just because, of course this is a Forsaken video, so that makes sense. And I wanted to put a little bit of my friends and references to my friends in the pile too, so you might see that too. If you wonder why there is a random character that you don't know, that's because it's my friend. We got Blue and Paint in there, and then someone new, which I haven't mentioned, but yeah, pretty cool, pretty simple. Just very tedious to pose all of them.
Everyone all right?
Can you repeat the question? I couldn't hear you over the knives.
Time for animation. Kind of. This is still a little bit of prepped. Like, I still had to make sure that the camera movements were good, because if I didn't actually have the camera movements good here, it would cause a lot of issues, especially because the camera actually moves a lot during this animation. So I just used 2 cameras, even though it looks like I used 3. I used a little bit of Blender magic there. But yeah, I just had to make sure to animate 2 cameras and made sure to animate my body falling down. Again, this is the blocking out section, so really fast animation, so it's not like going to take very long, and so that the animation in the end will look a lot better. Because if you don't have a good base of your animation, it's probably not going to look the best. Especially, it's going to be obvious that you don't really know what you're doing or what's happening when you don't actually have everything already planned out. Okay, here's the good stuff for real this time. Now, I just had to make sure that all of the beats were on point, because when he walks up the bodies, you can actually hear it in the music, where it's every individual step is like a note. So I had to make sure to align that pretty well, made sure that the timing makes sense, and just the framing and everything like that made coherent sense. That's just all you need to be doing. I actually had to deal with some weirdness here, because I don't really know how to describe it, but there's like a base that follows a lot of the animated characters. It's like a circle with like a bunch of edges. You can kind of see it here. And that base is supposed to be following, it controls the movement of the character a little bit. But if you move the character away from the base, it kind of freaks out the system. And yeah, I had to figure out how to work around that and deal with it, because it was not like, you can kind of see it in the final too, but he kind of, when he jumps, it like kind of teleports around. It's just because I messed up and I didn't really want to fix it. You can kind of see it a little bit. What I'm talking about was the base having issues, but I had to reanimate the whole walk section, which I did not want to do, man. I did not want to do that crap, bro. I did not want to do that. Okay, time for the cleanup. Now, the cleanup is where you really make sure to add all the little details, the facial expressions, because especially with this guy's face, do you guys see this guy's face when he's walking? He has nothing behind those eyes, bro. No thought, nothing, man. But I really wanted to make sure that all the little details were shown here. There's a lot of details. He actually does like jazz hands. He has fully like expressive faces, eye movement. Like, there's a lot of detail that is throughout the entire freaking animation that I had to make sure that, translated to the Roblox version. It was tough, but definitely very, very helpful to show all the little animations and all the little details that they added to this just one section. This is like not even like 10-second section of the animation. You gotta appreciate that, dude. You gotta appreciate that. Freaking, there's impact frames. There are impact frames in the animation. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that until I freaking studied it. I had no idea. So yeah, there's a lot of little details. And speaking about details, I actually forgot to animate one detail, now realizing, which is making me sad. His hat. I completely forgot about his hat. That's, important. So I'm not going to go back and animate it because I'm recording this after I finish the animation, so I can't really do much about it. So, whoopsie doopsie. Ugh, it's okay, man. It's fine. This stuff happens. Explosion time. Boom boom time. Now, I first tried like this VFX pack that I had, but it was not it. It was like this Toon VFX pack that you can create like a cool explosion with. But oh my god, it just didn't make much sense, and the settings that it had to control it was just not it, dude. It was not it. So I, luckily, and my god, freaking Blender Kit is like my hero sometimes. But I have a plugin called Blender Kit that is like an online website in Blender. You can search anything and everything, and boom, it's there. It's pretty much always going to be there for free, typically. Not everything is for free, but most of it is. Now, with the actual new explosion, it was much easier to control, just less, like, I couldn't really edit it very much, so I couldn't make it look all pretty, but I didn't really need that. I just needed a simple explosion, and I found it, so that's what really matters there. And it looked great at the end. At first, a little bit pixelized, but good. Like, I don't know why, but it sometimes looked pixely, so I had to fix that, but it's pretty easy to fix. Just had to go mess around with the settings and change a couple explosion stuff. So, now, this is closing to the end of the video. So, sadly, I did not record my final process on this, where, like, I, did all the lighting and, like, the special effects with, like, the bloom and stuff like that. I sadly did not record that. I just forgot, I guess. I was really focused on something else, I forget. But in the end, I think it looked really, really cool. Of course, you're the one to judge if it's cool or not. Anyways, Hope you all enjoy the beauty shots. Welcome to the end of the video. If you skipped, there's 2 animations. They're gonna have to go back. I see you, John, and I see you, Julie. I know you skipped. That's rude of you. Don't be doing that. Anyways, this was really fun to do the animations and stuff like that. And you might notice that the video is actually done differently. I don't know if I like it. Tell me what you guys like it. It's definitely a little bit more work for me to do, so... And it's a lot of me just rambling, so I don't know if that's like what you're here for, with me just rambling to the screen pretty much. But if you like it, then you like it. Tell me down in the comments with a like and a comment, whatever. That's the best way to send me feedback. Besides that, I hope you all have a wonderful morning, night, or afternoon, and peace